You clicked on the video, you probably want to know about Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, or maybe you don't. There's a lot of people out there right now for a variety of reasons who are not overly interested. There we go, hopefully you are interested. And, well, what's happening this week is that Sim Update 2 is currently in beta testing and it's likely on the way pretty soon. There's a new wishlist, which is going to give us a bit of insight as to what we can expect in the future of the game. Starting then with this wishlist, we can see it on the screen right here, and as you can see, almost everything, all these 24 points, are under investigation with the exception of 2. One of them, World Update Brazil, has been released. We'll remember that happened a few weeks ago. And then we've got the scenery gateway system, the World Hub, which is currently in progress. Now that itself is a pretty neat little system. It allows players, it allows simmers to jump straight into the game and correct change and modify airports, specifically the little airfields that you see dotted around, the little small airstrips, things like that. You can modify them if you know them better than what they're listed as in the game, if you want to correct them. Those updates then get uploaded to the game servers, and once Microsoft have verified them, they will be deployed in a patch. Now, that system did release for Flight Sim 2020, and it actually turned out to be pretty effective and pretty neat, but it was put on pause for the release of Flight Sim 2024. It looks like, hopefully, fingers crossed, it should be on the way back pretty soon. Now we have got 22 other points here that are under investigation, and some of these are very reminiscent of, well, Flight Sim 2020's wishlist, aren't they? In fact, many of the points here are from Flight Sim 2020, you can see that here. And this kind of proves to us that both versions of the sim are still ongoing. I mean, we kind of know that, don't we? Flight Sim 2020 has been getting world updates, and it's going to be getting city updates, but it's those new features, things that are people not quite sure of. Well, look at the bottom of this list. We can see that we've got seasons and I Miss Trains. These were here for many years under investigation, and many people kind of hoped and felt that they would eventually arrive in Flight Sim 2020. But then the big news hit that Microsoft were working on a new sim, and these sort of disappeared into the ether. Well, they've made an appearance back on the wish list, and they're once again under investigation. So just maybe, fingers crossed, we're going to finally get trains in Flight Sim 2020 as well as seasons as well. Now, seasons do exist in Flight Sim 2024, but they don't exist as yet in Flight Sim 2020. Now, another point that's well worth focusing on here is make cloud streaming optional. This is at wishlist number 4, optional streaming for Flight Sim 2024. Now, many of you will no doubt be well aware that Flight Sim 24 doesn't fully install onto your computer. Instead, much of the code, much of the game's assets stream in as you're playing it. Both Microsoft and Asobo felt that this was a massive deal, very, very important before the release of the sim, because yes, this is a pretty big sim, and fully installing it onto your computer would take vast amounts of data, and so they went with this cloud streaming option. Unfortunately, not everyone is happy about it because, well, for a lot of people, they've been having issues with it. So the ability to make it local, or a little bit more local, would be a very nice option. Looks, based on what we're seeing here, that Microsoft is saying that this option is currently under investigation. They're not saying that it's not going to happen. Instead, they're indicating that at the very least, they are considering it. So let's hope that one comes along as well. Another pretty big feature here that is for both versions of the sim is shared cockpit and multiplayer. This is a thing that I know people wanted for a very long time with Flight Sim 2020, and I'm a bit surprised that it didn't make the cut for the release of Flight Sim 2024. This would have been a huge feature that I know a lot of people would have wanted to see, especially with the ability now to get out of your planes and walk around. Multiplayer is very important in all regards here. For some reason, this is under investigation. There's no consensus from Microsoft one way or another as to whether or not this will actually happen. And when you think about it, Flight Sim 2020 has been around for 5 years or so at this point. Yeah, it's quite a long time without that feature. There's another feature here, another point at, where is it, number 17. Please update cities, airports in South Korea. They're missing. And this is both for Flight Sim 2020 and Flight Sim 2024. Now, again, this one is under investigation, so no news on this one just yet, other than Microsoft acknowledging that it does appear to be an issue and it has got their attention. Now, if we go all the way back to 2020 and 2021, there were wish lists like this, all of them with the under investigation status, and slowly over time this wish list did evolve. It had new points come in and some other points go out because these are all upvoted by forum users, but ultimately the big points did change their status from under investigation to other statuses, sometimes indicating they weren't going to happen, other times indicating, like with the World Update Brazil one here, that they're released, and other times still suggesting that they're in progress. So hopefully then, over time, as we move into the coming months, we will see this wish list change and update according to what's going on. And yeah, you know what, let's get those seasons and trains in there for Flight Sim 2020. I'd also like to see trains for Flight Sim 2024. They're not in there, are they? I've not seen them. Next up, we move on to Sim Update 2. Now, this is in testing right now. If you want to join the testing, you can. There should be a link in the video description where you can find instructions on how to join the test if you want to give this a go. Now, there are a number of bugs that are going to be fixed. So Sim Updates are generally about getting the sim up to scratch. Sometimes introducing new features, sometimes not so much. Sometimes it's just more about bringing stability and some pretty big changes and fixes. What we can see here is the bug list. There's an excessive amount of trees, we all know that, in Flight Sim 2024. People saying even more excessive than Flight Sim 2020. Microsoft assure us this has been fixed for Sim Update 2. What else have we got? We got helicopters jump in and out of ground effect when near raised platforms. That has also been fixed. No engine or cockpit sounds on multiple MSFS 2024 instances. That has also been fixed. In fact, as we go down this list, we can see that Microsoft are fixing various different issues. Some of these are pretty significant. They are pretty much game-breaking bugs. Other ones are more superficial, such as the rain effect on the windshield, which is non-existent. So yeah, superficial change, but this one is quite a high-level immersion effect, isn't it? Something that is very noticeable when it's missing. Microsoft say that this is going to be fixed in Flight Sim, not Flight Sim, but in Sim Update 2. So that gives us a bit of indication, a bit of a taster as to what Microsoft are fixing when it comes to Sim Update 2. But there is another side of things here. It looks like Microsoft really do want to try and fix the career, the Challenge League and multiplayer when it comes to Flight Sim 2024. And one of the ways it appears they're going to be doing that is by really fully running the beta on its own Flight Sim build. And here you'll have your own career mode progression and Challenge League leaderboards, all of which are going to be entirely separate from the live version. And it seems that the segregation here is aimed at letting the team test the new fixes and enhancements without actually affecting the live progress on the live version of the sim. So to me, this suggests the whole thing is pretty significant because Microsoft are taking a much closer look at this. Essentially then, it appears that Sim Update 2 is all about stability and fixes when it comes to Flight Sim 2024. Now, we are a lot of months in from release, and yeah, we're yet to see a Sim Update that introduces significant new features. Obviously, that is largely down to the fact that they've got a lot of work cut out for them, and they're really trying to get this game more stable, and I guess it is on the way. Let me know what you think about that in the comments section. In terms of talking about new features, we do know there's a few upcoming city updates on the world, another world update as well. As far as I know, these haven't been named just yet. In fact, what's something I did want to mention here is that back during the days of Flight Sim 2020, when that was the main focus, Microsoft, alongside these wish lists and bug lists, what they also released was a roadmap. And that meant we also always had a 3-month window into the future of the sim, and you can see an example of that right here. Here is one of the older roadmaps from the previous version of the sim, and we haven't had one of these for Flight Sim 2024. Gotta say, I really miss these, and I do hope that Microsoft will bring them back. There doesn't seem to be any reason at all to not have these, and they always give us a clear pathway, a clear indication as to where things are heading over the next few months, and yet without these, I kind of feel a little lost. At any rate, that's where things stand right now with the Flight Sim 2024. Right now, not major news unfortunately, but things are steadily progressing along, and it's looking like the next sim update isn't too far out. At any rate, do let me know what you think about all of this in the comments section below. I do notice from previous videos that a lot of people still remain very unhappy with Flight Sim 2024. So yeah, if you still feel that way, feel absolutely free to let me know how you're feeling, and if you are enjoying the sim still, and hopefully you are. Also, let me know about that, because I'd love to hear from all of you. Look forward to reading those comments. Thanks for watching this video. There is another one on the screen right here. Take care, and I'll catch you next time.